Even your emotion had an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know, no. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. I hope that you're having the time of your life. Think twice. That's my only advice. Oh, who do you think you are? Oh, bless your soul. You really think you're in control? I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Just like me. My heroes had the heart, lose their lives out on the land. And all I remember is thinking I want to be like them. Oh, yeah. Ever since I was little, it looked like fun. And it's not coincidence I've come. And I could die when I'm done. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you're crazy. Maybe we're crazy.
Hello, everybody. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule this evening to spend a few moments with me here on SML TV. I began to talk because I could see many of you were saying to me, okay, well, you can start talking now. Mabandos yazasira. Just a few shout outs before we begin. And tonight's broadcast, I'll be very honest with you, it's for me, it's a serious one. And there are a few things I'd like to share with you. And I know that I echo most of what I'm going to say. I have every confidence in my spirit that most, if not everything, I will utter today here. Many of you feel the same way. Why? Because you are Zambians. You claim this land as your own. And because you do, you and I have a stake in this country. And because we have a stake in this country, we have the right, we have the dexterity, we have the ability, we have the wherewithal to speak life into this nation. Nobody else is going to do it. Oh no, if you're waiting for somebody to speak for you, it's not going to happen. We have to speak for one another and speak for this nation. And when we see things happening that sort of throw the country off kilter, It is the responsibility of every law-abiding, patriotic citizens to call out a wrong when you see it. It goes back to that old adage. Bad things happen when good people sit back and do nothing. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, and I know many of you are going to correct me on that. You're going to jump on here and say, no, well, that's not the exact quote. Well, whatever the quote it is, you know what I'm talking about. A few shout outs to you before I begin. Chanda Museva, Essex, UK is watching us. Wonderful. Thank you, Chanda. Bright Mlenga, hello to you. Thank you so much. Hi, hoping you are all right. Watching you from Mansa, my hometown. That's where I'm from. Henry Mwansa, and incidentally, Mwansa is one of my names. Thank you so much. We have what? The wherewithal. We have the wherewithal. Okay, thank you so much. Bless you, and whomever you are watching us today, thank you so much. Today, I'd like to talk to you for a few moments about what I witnessed. Many of you have seen this. And of course, I'm speaking about HH's standoff with the police in Chipata. Now, as you know, a standoff it's almost like a stalemate. It's a gridlock. You know, when two parties come to a point of inflection and neither one wants to move, that's called a standoff. And I saw something today that truly disturbed me. And it shook me to the core as a Zambian. Now, when you look at this incident that we have all witnessed, and it's all over social media, it's making the rounds, in my view, it has gone viral. And when you watch this video clip, the video clip of the leader of the United Party for National Development, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. From what I gather, he has landed in Chipata at the Chipata airport, and he's seeking to gain access to Chipata through the airport. And for some reason, for some unexplained, some unconscionable reason, law enforcement are prohibiting him from doing so. And it's the most, when you look at that video, it leaves you nonplussed. It leaves you bewildered. It places you in a position where you begin to ask that all elusive, that all encompassing question: why? What for? What is this? Why is this happening? And when you ask the question why, the answer is not apparent. The answer doesn't make sense. The answer, my brothers and sisters, simply does not gel. Why? And let's pause for a moment. And let's look at Mr. Hakainde Hichilema's demeanor. This is so telling. His demeanor in this encounter should tell you something. Could we stop for a moment and talk about HH's calm demeanor? The way he engaged with those officers. Guys, I'm ashamed to admit this. I really, truly am. I'm ashamed to admit this. I've been working in the CBD for I've been here for 33 years. I've been working here for 33 years. And sometimes, many of you, you've seen my videos. Sometimes I simply don't have the patience to be nice to certain people. Now, of course, I know that it's different when you're talking about law enforcement, but even then, there are times you become impatient. In this video, what you're looking at is a man, and I'm not trying to vouch for him. You guys know I'm nonpartisan. I love this nation. I've got friends, and I have to qualify this because, in Zambia, it is very difficult to be misunderstood. It's very easy. Did I say difficult? I meant easy. It's very easy to be misunderstood. You say the wrong thing, you say something out of turn, people will accuse you of doing all kinds of stuff. No, we know you are with them. We know you are green. We know. Sometimes you don't have to look at things through political lenses. Come on, guys. Not everything has a political twist. But my point is this. You've seen sometimes how I get flustered. Sometimes I sort of lose my cool. Okay? Especially when you know you're right. It's different when you are in an ambiguous situation. You're not sure who's the person that's right here. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? But especially when you know that you are being mistreated, you're being underplayed, you're being skullduggered, you're being mistreated, you're being treated unfairly. When you know that, your attitude changes. You become defensive, you become angry, you become indignant because you know you're right. And here it is, you've got this man, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who is standing in front of police officers, and he is as calm as the cool spring breeze. And there he is, talking about why are you doing this? What is the deal? And this is the part that got me. Honestly, I try and stay away from these conversations, but this one line, and you have to forgive me, I'm very emotional. I don't want to cry, Oh. Do I need a passport to enter Chipata? Why? This is my country. Why do you want me to feel like I'm not part of this country? He didn't say that part. I'm just paraphrasing. What he said there was, do I need a passport to enter Chipata? And that got me. That was like a bullet. That felt like someone stabbed me in the chest. Why are we disenfranchising Zambians? Somebody please explain that to me. For what? It's an election period, guys. People campaign. It's normal. There is nothing abstract about that. Nothing. And here it is. You're disenfranchising someone just because he wants to campaign. Sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying. And I'm going to say something. And I know this is probably going to rub many of you the wrong way. I'm going to say it anyway. I doubt that President Lungu is sitting in his office calling the police officers in Chipata saying, when that guy shows up, stop him. I doubt that. Something in me tells me that is not, sorry. Something in my heart tells me that's not possible. Because these presidents, these heads of state, these men and women that we elect to public office, they are presidents of the whole nation. So listen, guys, I would be hard pressed to believe that President Lungu is sitting in his office somewhere talking to the commissioner in Chipata saying, don't let that guy in. I doubt that very seriously. But what I do know, or what I do feel, is that there are factions, elements within the system that do things like that, that think this will please the president. Now, I know for those of you that are diehard UPND, you'll disagree with me. You say, no, I want to believe that President Lungu wouldn't do that. I really want to believe that because he's a president for everybody. And so I just find it difficult to believe that the head of state would sit in a chair and speak to the commissioner and say to the commissioner, don't let that guy in. I don't believe that. It's factions, elements within the system that pull stunts like that. Because in their minds, they think this will please the head of state. But what you're doing is that you are fracturing this nation. You think that your actions will please the head of state, when in many cases, I think the head of state is completely unaware of what's happening. I bet you President Lungu watches this in real time, the same time that you and I see it. I want to believe that. And I want to believe the president would look at this footage and call whoever's in charge and say, hey, look, you can't do that. Come on, guys. Yes, we are in an election season. Yes, we are in an election year. But let us try at least put together some semblance of fair play. We can't have fair play on every single level. But let's not draw unnecessary attention that is unnecessary. You remember the video clip, and here it is. Hakainde Hichilema is negotiating his way through this situation. And did you hear what the officer said? He said, sir, give me a moment. Let me see what I can do. That whole incident was completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see situations that are blatantly unfair. If you're going to do politics, for goodness sake, just do politics. But don't engage in skullduggery. Don't engage in underhanded, unfair play. Don't foul. Even in a sport as inconsequential as football, when you foul someone, you get a red card. You're called out. The referee doesn't look at you and pat you on the back and say, hey, don't do that again. Oh, no, there are consequences when you foul. Am I overreacting? Am I overreacting? You tell me right now. If I'm overreacting, you tell me now that when you watched that video clip, it didn't make you feel a certain type of way. No. If you're going to do politics, gentlemen, just do politics. Nobody needs to embrace that all-encompassing clarion call by any means necessary. No. You do you, and let him do him, and leave the rest to us. Let me say that again. You do you, whoever you are, and let him do him. But let us do the rest. The voter. We will decide. Simple. There is no reason to engage in underhanded, unfair play. When you do that, you attract unnecessary attention. And that's not good. You must know this. Guys, I know that we're approaching a very sensitive period, less than 14 days before we decide, before we choose. I know that. I understand that. And I know that to many politicians, which is very different from you and I, to many politicians, they hinge their lives on this one event. And I think that's a sad way to live. Honestly, whichever side you're on, if your whole life hinges, depends, hangs in the balance based on this one electoral event, whoever you may be, that's a sad existence. You must be able to extrapolate, look beyond August the 12th. There is a life to live after August the 12th. Let us not destroy this nation for an election day. Let me close and say this. Don't let the wheels fall off the wagon. That fiasco in Chipata at the airport, whoever hatched that idea needs to be fired. That was a mess. That was a big blunder. That was a faux pas. That was a gaffe. Don't attract unnecessary attention. Just do politics. Period. Goodness. Must we teach you everything? Huh? You want us, the electorate, to be teaching you those basic lessons. You guys should know that by now. Many of you are seasoned politicians. Many of you have been in, this is not your first rodeo. This is not your first turn on the block. You've been here before. You know what it takes. Do it. Don't act like amateurs. Today's event at Chipata Airport, you acted like amateurs. Amateurs. Don't do that. Be professional. We've got a country to run and lives to live. We're not going to sit back here twiddling our thumbs and watching you ruin it. No, sir, we're not going to do that. Do your job and protect the citizens of this country. Love the citizens of this nation. Okay? All right. That's all I had to say. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you. Good night.